Hey everyone, welcome in. This deep dive, we're taking a look at modern feminism, and wow, the sources from Earth Feminism you guys sent are something else. We've got news articles like personal stories, calls to action. It's like that saying, the personal is political, is really true these days.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting, right? It's not just like theories. It's, real
Yeah.
people dealing with like societal norms and stuff like that, like systemic issues.
Yeah, for sure. And it reminds you that feminism isn't just this like abstract idea. It's really about how these personal struggles can spark a bigger movement. And speaking of urgent matters, we got to talk about the reports from Turkey about femicide. One post talked about those two young women murdered in Istanbul, Ayşenur Halil and Agbal Uzuner. God, this is hard even to talk about. The murderer, this 19-year-old guy, he put one of the victims' bodies like on the city walls. Her own mother saw it. Just awful.
Yeah, it's just horrifying. And it just shows this bigger problem, not just Turkey, but globally, violence against women. And what's really concerning in this case is they said the government's like not talking about it. The media blackout. That's so loud, that silence. Like they don't even want to acknowledge it's a problem, let alone fix it.
Right. It's like they're trying to ignore it. And this case, as awful as it is, it reminds me that for every story we hear, there are probably so many we don't. It feels so huge. What can we even do?
It is huge. That's why these individual stories matter so much. They
Well,
force us to pay attention, force people to do something. For everyone listening, I know it feels overwhelming, but even just talking about it helps.
mhm.
Or giving to organizations that fight for women's rights, calling your representatives,
Yeah,
all of that can make a difference.
you're right. Every little bit counts. And sadly, this whole thing of like these ingrained issues impacting women, we see it in other parts of the world too. We have a bunch of sources from the US, Texas, and Louisiana, all about reproductive rights.
Yeah, and it shows how the personal is political, like literally. We're not talking philosophy here. We're talking real life consequences. This impacts women's lives, their health, their futures, everything.
One post said something like 26,000 women in Texas who had been assaulted, they had to carry pregnancies to term because of those abortion bans after Roe v. Wade was overturned. I can't even imagine.
It's just, yeah. And it's not just Texas. We see another source talking about hospitals in Louisiana. And get this, they're locking up medicine, like pregnancy drugs, because doctors are afraid of being sued or something under the new laws.
Wait, really? So even when they need it, it's locked up?
Yeah, it's like this chilling effect, right?
Yeah.
Doctors won't give care. Women are scared for their health. It makes you think about the government, like what their role should be in personal health. It's a big debate, strong opinions on both sides.
For sure, it's not simple. And it's not just abortion. Reproductive rights are so much more. Contraception, healthcare costs, even just sex ed, like accurate information.
Absolutely. It's about bodily autonomy, making your own choices about your body, your health, without fear, without someone else deciding. Having the power to decide your own future.
So we see how these big political things have real impact on people. But what about just like everyday life? We got a bunch of hard feminism posts about something we've all seen, like challenging these old school gender roles.
Oh, yeah, totally. They're everywhere, those expectations, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't even see them till you run right into them.
Totally. Like one user talked about their dad, called him old school, said he's like seriously misogynistic, only yells at women, says men are more logical. Like, come on, we all know that's not how it works. But seriously, how do you even change that? It feels impossible.
Yeah, it's tough. No easy answer,
Mhm.
sadly. But what your user said, it shows this thing, like different generations see feminism differently. Those old ideas, they don't just vanish. It takes those awkward conversations. You got to challenge people. Call out sexism wherever you see it. Not easy, takes time, but that's how those beliefs change slowly.
Right. Consistency is key. And it's not just family, right? Online all the time, there was that whole TikTok thing. They mentioned it on the subreddit. This woman, they said she was overweight, and she just said, height matters for dating. Like, it blew up.
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect example. So much backlash just for saying what she wants. And it's funny, right? Men do it all the time, say what they're looking for.
Mm.
But a woman does it.
Mm.
Ridiculed, body shamed, the works. It's not even about dating, really. It's this bigger thing. Like, women aren't supposed to have opinions, especially about their own lives.
It's about control, right? Like you were saying. Wasn't there another post about women in STEM,
Yeah,
how they're treated?
yeah. Someone said they had this coworker, a guy. He'd always interrupt her in meetings, talk over her, even though she was leading the project. And if she said something, she was being aggressive.
Ugh, classic. Just another way to shut someone up, right? Keep things the same.
Exactly. Like, women should be seen and not heard, especially in those fields.
Mm.
And it shows why intersectionality matters so much in feminism. Like, different women have different experiences, race, class, sexual orientation, it all plays a role. A woman of color in STEM probably facing even more challenges.
It's like layers of complexity, right? Makes it even more important to listen to everyone, make sure everyone's heard.
Absolutely. Every story matters, you know? Helps us understand how gender roles really impact people.
Yeah, it's like they're told to fit in this box, but then when they try to break out, suddenly it's a
A
problem.
total double standard, right?
That's
Like,
true.
you're wrong if you follow the rules, wrong if you don't.
It's like you can't win. And it all comes back to control, doesn't it? Whether it's violence or healthcare or how women should look, how they should act.
Exactly. It's about power, keeping things the way they are.
So how do we change that?
Well, it's not simple, right? We need to change laws, change those deep down beliefs, and we got to give people the power to speak up, for themselves and others.
So it's not just on women to fix it.
No way. Not at all. Everyone's got a role. That's what allyship is about. Guys listening. It's about really hearing women, believing them,
Yeah.
and using your own, privilege to call out sexism.
Right. Equality's better for everyone, not just one group. This has been, I don't know, kind of heavy, all these issues. But I'm also seeing so much strength in these Our Feminism stories. Like, they're sharing, they're angry, they want better. That's powerful.
It is. It's really inspiring. Shows that change is possible. Every voice that speaks out, every action, it adds up.
So, as we wrap up, what should our listeners take away from all this?
Remember what we said. The personal is political. It's real. This isn't just happening in government. It's everywhere. Our homes, work, even online, like those TikTok comments. We all have a part to play in making things more equal. And the first step is simple. Listen, learn, and be honest with yourself about your own biases.
So important, that self-reflection. It's not about being perfect. It's about being open to change. Learn about these issues, listen to different voices, be an ally. As you go about your day, think about those expectations, those norms. Where do you see the inequality? How can you challenge it? Even small things matter, because those small acts can turn into something bigger. So until next time, keep asking those questions, keep learning, and keep talking about this stuff. It matters.